All right, so we've played a couple of iterations of this deck before on stream to varying amounts of success. So we've got a bunch of just like quality modern playable cards, 5 pieces of 1 mana discard, some bolts, some fatal pushes. At the core, this is a red-black mid-range deck that has a small blue splash for Nicol Bolas. The blue splash is powered off of Sarkhan, a couple of tar pits, an island, and Haven of the Spirit Dragon, as well as some steam vents. So basically red-black at the core, splash for Grixis, and red-black's got a lot of pretty reasonable Magic the Gathering cards in it as far as like modern power level is concerned. I think the split in Glorybringer Stormbreath Dragon is fine. Stormbreath is much better against control decks, and like Glorybringer is much better against decks that are playing to the board. You have Knight's Whisper for some card advantage. I think Foul-Tongue Invocation is just kind of a sweet card in general. Like, gaining 4 covers a lot of different aggressive matchups, and like, the Edict effect is very reasonable in non-aggressive matchups too. Stubby D seems like a stretch. Maybe, how many blue source do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 10 blue sources. Brendan, oh boy, we made it to month 2. Thanks for what you do. Thanks for the support, Brendan. Welcome back. What would you suggest a budget for Blackcleave Cliffs? Probably more fetch lands. Just like round out the Bloodstained Mires. Probably like 3 Mires and another 3 Bloodstained Mires and another Blood Crypt. If you wanted to play this without Cliffs. Sounds fine. Not amazing, but fine. I think I have to fetch shock on one. Six mana is just gonna get clunked up in your hand a lot of the time, Rick. Is the issue. We're dealing 7 to ourselves with this hand, so maybe that's too much. See a handful of mono red cards. Yep. Okay, just go ahead and take Taylor here. Why would we scoop? Like they have Bolt, but like they're basically a pseudo Nivik doling out the sub giftaroonies. What's going on? Good morning. And Mick Burr, thank you for the 15 months. Only for the best Magic content creator. Thanks for the over a year there. Thank you, Nivik. Need to get that sub count up. Well, I appreciate it. Would you like to cut the line with those? It's $100 dues, so if you'd like to see something up next after this one, you're welcome to it. As always, the people that support my stuff dictate what we do. All right, opponent missing their second land, but we're missing our third after drawing 2 extra cards, so, you know. Awkward. I think I'm just bidding Stormbreath Dragon. Or would I rather have that instead of... I'd probably rather have these 2 instead of Nick, right? Yeah, I'm gonna bin Nick. Yeah, that's true. They drew extra cards as well. They actually looted twice. Our deck certainly has more lands in it than theirs, though, right? Like our deck's on 25 lands. Yeah, maybe binning second Sarkhan was right. I'm gonna bin second Sarkhan here. I'm gonna bin that one. Hey, Twister, thanks for the 5 months. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. So, this is the downside to having binned Nick. If I don't draw a land here, okay, we draw a land. So if I didn't draw a land here, I'd have to... Oh, Glorybanger's just going to get rid of this, right? Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glorybanger plowing through ya. Do, 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 do. boop, 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 doo, doo. Gobble, gobble. I think I should probably bolt this here. Let's get Jeskai Flash next. Perfect. The one that's already in the queue, Nivik. Ooh, that's a good one, yeah? Perfect. Will do. What do I think about Artifact? I think Artifact looks complicated, interesting, and so far their pre-release has been handled very, very poorly by Valve. So I'm interested to see what the gameplay ends up being like, but hopefully the gameplay is better than how they've handled their pre-release so far. I'm going to make an executive decision and say we're going to do Jeskai Flash and Blue-Black Fairies for the last 2 decks today. Just play 2 decks I really like. Honestly, I was super excited for Artifact when they posted about it near excuse me, what am I thinking about? When they posted about it near PAX, and then like they just let the hype just like fall completely flat with how they've mismanaged it. The beta started late. Like I know people in the closed beta, and like Artifact was supposed to go into a more open beta state like a month ago. So like they missed their deadlines, that they missed their internal dates that they had as goals. So we'll see. Maybe the gameplay is great. It'll be all that we want to talk about. We'll see. I have purchased a beta key from somebody that went to PAX, so I'll be able to stream Artifact on the 19th when the next wave of beta people get in. So we'll see where it goes from there. How are the memes today? It's just a modern Monday. The subreddit I love. Also, it's gonna be funny watching a bunch of people get exposed to that's the other thing that makes me question Artifact, what they're doing. Like they basically copy and pasted the MTGO model into new software, and like the MTGO model kind of sucks. Like it's basically just like degenerate online gambling. So like the fact that they've like taken the MTGO model seems a little bit worrying to me. Yeah, I'm not gonna stop streaming Magic. My Magic schedule's there to stay. If I stream Artifact, it will be in addition to the Magic that I'm streaming now. Slightly awkward mana here. I'm just gonna go ahead and Abrade this now, so that way I don't get caught with my hand in the cookie jar and they don't like pump it up to a 3/4. My price for 8-rack is very high. I don't think that deck is very good, and I don't think it generates interesting games of Magic, so let's say $100. What's going on, Maddie? Man, if we hit an untapped land here, Nikki B's gonna slam down, take their bolt away, and then just be a giant brick wall. Can you explain what you mean by MTGO? I mean, Artifact's gameplay model is pay to play. You're gonna have to pay to play meaningful matches at all times. There's no free to play ladder. Well, I just have to take 4 here, I think. They're gonna get to flash this back though, which sucks. So I probably have to let them draw on the second one. Yeah, I have to let them draw. Yeah, we're probably dead here. Yeah. Yeah, they've copy and pasted them TGO model. They're, in order to play, they're basically like Magic Online leagues. There's no ladder. And like, it's not even just from like an online gambling perspective that I dislike the Magic Online league structure, but from a quality of gameplay perspective, like playing on a ladder and like having to work your way up to get to a certain point to play against people of similar skill level, that's a good thing, I think. You thought Artifact was a buy once model? No. Artifact is carbon copying Magic Online. You pay to buy the game initially, and then you pay for everything else in the game. And like, to be fair, I can kind of understand why they've copied Magic Online's model. Like, Magic Online makes piles and piles of money and isn't particularly great software, right? So like, if you could make piles of money with bad software, they're probably gonna make even more piles of money with good software with this model, right? Oh, we're very dead. This is a strong draw to the opponent. I think if we would have hit Nicol Bolas on turn 4, we'd have been okay here, but the fact that we missed on 4 was a pretty big deal. So, there really isn't a big difference between... I think I'm supposed to do this, and then bolt this, and just like hope I don't get lightning bolted. Getting to 3 is important because it turns my fetch lands into real cards. Obscene Sanity, if I submit a standard deck, do I have to build a sideboard? I'm not sure. Ideally, you should have a sideboard with your deck. Yeah, put some thought into it. Like, look at decks and think about cards you could want. Remember, when we play standard, I have the flexibility to make changes to the deck in between games. So, I can tune and change things as we go. All right. Staying alive, staying alive. Do 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 do. They binned Reveler, we dead. Yeah, probably. Oh, they got lava spikes too. It's just super aggressive. Yep. All right, that's fine. We get to play this next game on the play. Like I said, that game would have been a lot more close had we hit our 4th land on 4. Huh. I think I'm actually going to keep this. So, like, it looks like a 5-lander on the surface, but, like, Collective Brutality actually turns 2 of these lands into spells, basically, right? That's fine, dumbass. Maybe Spellbomb's okay. Yeah, I guess Spellbomb gets Phoenix and Risk Factor too. Yeah, that 2 Spellbomb should probably be in my deck. That's a good suggestion. They binned double Arclight Phoenix. Yeah. Spellbomb probably would have been good. I probably should have kept the Swamp, bring it Blood Moon and Cry. Did I just take the Ritual here? Because it makes them most likely to be able to play 3 spells. Yeah, I'm gonna take the risk factor. I don't know, that could go either way. I have the Lightning Bolt to kill one of the Phoenixes. I definitely should have brought in the Nihil Spellbombs. I wasn't thinking about how... I was thinking they were a burn deck, and my head didn't go to Graveyard Hate. Yeah, but there's this, I agree with that for sure, Derlick. I think the higher upfront learning cost is true. There's this weird idea among people that, like, higher initial complexity means higher skill cap, and I just think that that's patently incorrect. Like, a lot of people, Magic players especially, make the assumption that Pokemon has a low skill cap because the ability, the initial what you need to learn to play is low. So I think that's something that I see a lot from a lot of different games, that like people assume that like if a game's easy to learn, it's easy to master, and if it's hard to learn, it's hard to master. And that's just like not true in my experience. In fact, really well-designed games, a good game that's going to hook in a lot of people, are ones that are easy to learn and hard to master. Those are your ideal games. That's why games like, you know, Dota and first-person shooters and stuff like that are so popular, because it's really easy to drop in to get started in those games, but there's a lot of depth to them as you mature as a player. All right, looks like we're dead. Yeah, definitely should have had Nihil Spellbomb in my deck. I don't know that it would have changed anything. Like, I don't think I would have cut any of the cards I had in my hand this game for it. It's just like the fact that we're on 3 spells for the game here probably means we're dead anyways, but we'll see. What would you say is probably the strongest deck in Modern right now? There's a bunch of decks that are just fine. Humans, Hollowed One, both very good, powerful choices. Pick something proactive. Moristar, thank you very much for the 4 months. Love the content, without a doubt my favorite streamer on Twitch. Well, thanks for the 4 months. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Could be dead here. Gonna go ahead and bust Taylor now. Dead to Bolt. Yeah, Arena's done a lot of really good things for Magic in general. How we doing, folks? Good morning. Welcome. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I'm a full-time streamer and content producer here on Twitch. Hold on one second. My wife hid my shelf. Now. Ugh. I like instinctually went to reach for my shuffling deck as I was sitting here doing my ad, and like my wife cleaned my desk off over the weekend. Because we were having people over in the basement, and she, like, hid my shuffling deck, chat. Alright, sorry. Let's get back to the point. Sorry, welcome. How we doing, folks? Good morning. Happy Monday. My name's Jeff Hoagland. I'm a full-time streamer and content producer here on Twitch. I'm here playing Magic 30, 40, 50 hours a week. We do a ton of constructed Magic on the channel. We play a ton of Modern. Here on Magic Online, we play Standard on Arena as well. If you're enjoying my stuff, please consider subscribing to my channel. My subscribers are a big part of why I'm able to stream full-time here like I do. I wouldn't be here day in and day out without their very wonderful support. Past subscribing, you can also support myself by checking out some of my very wonderful sponsors. MTGOtraders.com, love to buy and sell some Magic Online cards with you. And if you use code Hoagland PayPal, at checkout with them, you'll save 8% on your singles orders there. Are you someone that thinks you always find the best line while playing Magic the Gathering? Why don't you put your skills to the test? Head on over to PossibilityStorm.com and find over 80 Magic puzzles there. They do new puzzles every single week with varying difficulties. CoolStuffInc.com buy and sells a lot of cool stuff, including TCG singles. Hey, Ginger Cakes, can't wait till this weekend. Yeah, Milwaukee should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I haven't been to a Grand Prix in like 2.5 years. So it's my first one since Channel Fireball took things over, so I'm excited to see how they run. CoolStuffInc.com buys and sells a lot of cool stuff, including TCG singles using promo code Jeff5. You can save 5% on Magic, Pokemon, Warhammer, and Yu-Gi-Oh cards with them. And of course, my wonderful shuffling deck is protected by BCW Elite Guard sleeves using code Jeff10 at bcwsupplies.com. You can save 10% on all of your orders there with them. They do sleeves and deck boxes and all sorts of other great stuff there. MTGO has taken its good sweet time finding us a match this morning. Magic Fest, Jeff. Yeah, I'm gonna be the Magic Fest champion, chat. Magic Fest champion. That's not true. I'm gonna probably like 3-4 drop and move on with my life. No, I went to GP Indy in the middle of 2012. There was a Modern Grand Prix in Indy I went to that was a pastimes event. Earned this wooden sword. There's no easy way to do this, only the right way, just like life. What's going on, Wusha? Thanks for the half a year. Welcome back. That is a handful of modern legal Magic the Gathering cards. So I'm going to go ahead and fetch right away here because I don't want to give them the chance to archive trap me while they didn't have it here, ideally. Bolas is a good draw here. Let us put some pressure into play here. We took the Ensnaring Bridge. It looks like they're playing a more controlling build of Mill, which makes sense. The Turbo Mill builds, in my experience, aren't very good in Modern. They just, like, fail to race most other decks. Get a little bit of brutality going on. Yeah, Milwaukee's pretty close. That's a good draw. I'm gonna go ahead and escalate this, actually, because it gets rid of the only other target for their Collective Brutality. Surgical Extraction, Visions from Beyond. I think I just take the Glimpse here, right? Because, like, taking Glimpse probably turns off Visions. It is, they have literally carbon copied the Magic Online model, Magnetic Snow. Nothing is free, you pay money for everything. I love how people thought, like, that no... I love how people thought that the upfront cost meant that it was going to be cheaper to play the game past that. Just zero understanding for how greedy they were going to be. Field of Rune's a good pickup here. It's their third land. It lets them kill my Tar Pit, and it enables Revolt for their Fatal Push here. Foul-Tongue Invocation can be cast as 4 mana gain, or 3 mana gain for Android. Alright, so our opponent screwed the pooch. They let us untap because they wanted to get cute and try and get a card out of my hand. Instead, I'm going to Haven this back in response here. Opponent doesn't know what modern staple Haven of the Spirit Dragon does. Yeah, this is a Blood Moon matchup. For sure, a Blood Moon matchup. Glimpse was a good draw. This is when a deck has 20 or fewer cards in it. So I've got a little bit more. They do have Delirium on their side of the board. Did someone from Magic, Richard Garfield created the new game. All right, so probably dead here. Our decks, this is like exactly the style of deck that like Mill can beat up on. They're like not quite, we're like not quite proactive enough to be able to really do anything. Yeah, I probably should have fetched sooner rather than later. Keyforge's gameplay is great. Unfortunately, its distribution model is idiotic. Which is kind of sad, because it's a sweet game. It seems like opening 20 packs, you'll have all the cards. All right, I'm going to time you out for saying something so incredibly stupid. You think you're going to have all the cards after opening 20 packs? Oh. You think you're gonna have all the cards after opening 20 packs? Oh, that's the best joke I've heard all day. Maybe all week. Maybe all week. You think you're gonna have all after 20 packs? Oh. All right, if they draw straight bricks. All right, we're dead. Got it. For Block Pauper Highlander, right? For something. Shoot. All right, so Fatal pushes and Dreadbore and Terminate pretty bad. Foul-Tongue Invocation, pretty bad. Blood Moon seems fine. Yeah. Here's just the straight up God's to honest truth about Artifact and their distribution model. If Artifact was interested in having a game that didn't cost as much money as all these other digital card games, they could have, and they would have structured their card game as a subscription service or as a living card game model where you paid a flat amount of money and had every card in the expansion at every release. They haven't done that. They are simply structuring their pay piles of money to play a card game in a different way than these other games have structured. And that's fine. Right? But like pretending that it's going to be something new and affordable, like the actual gameplay in Artifact might be the bee's knees. It might be the best thing since, you know, Magic the Gathering. It might be better than Magic. I don't know. I haven't played it. But I think anybody who thinks that like the amount it's going to cost to play that game is going to vary drastically from these other games that cost piles of money, you're kidding yourself. I think that's exceedingly unlikely. There will be, you'll be able to exchange cards via the Steam marketplace for, where Valve takes, is it a 15% cut? Is it a 15% cut on the Steam marketplace? 20, I thought it was 15 or 20, right? Like 20% cut. So like, you're gonna lose 20% on every card you exchange, 15, 20%. Yeah. I'd be very surprised if they ever enabled direct peer-to-peer trading in Artifact, because that would allow people to take some of Valve's cut. I'm going to give you a 10-minute timeout so you can take a look at the deck list. You can always find my schedule of which days I'm streaming and what I'm streaming on which days on my website here. So looking for an Abrade, a Kolaghan's Command, and Engineered Explosives here. Okay. Alright, so they have an Archive Trap. Thankfully, I don't have any more fetch lands here. They don't have any more lands, which makes the Hedron Crab less scary. The Visions from Beyond isn't active for a while, though. I think I'm going to take Hedron Crab. I mean, it is different, Nivik. Like, and that's the thing. Like, I see TCG people talking about how Artifact is cheap compared to Paper Magic. Like, saying a game is cheap compared to Paper Magic is like saying, I don't know, it's cheaper than crack cocaine. It's cheaper than some very expensive drug. Everything is cheaper than Paper Magic the Gathering. Everything. And all of the other card games are cheaper than Paper Magic. Cheaper than Paper the Magic the Gathering is like this super low bar that you can't, it's like everything, actually it's a high bar, right? Everybody limbos under it. And like, here's the big difference. Your Paper Magic the Gathering cards are a tangible good that you own. They're not something that Valve can suddenly say, oh, you don't have these anymore, or oh, you broke the Steam terms of service and we've banned your account, or some other nonsense. I'm not saying that they're going to do that, but I am saying that there's a big difference between a physical, tangible item that you own and a digital product that you are purchasing permission to use. If you read, and I know I'm probably one of like 4 people in the world who has ever read an end user license agreement that I've agreed to, but if you read the Magic Online end user license agreement and the Hearthstone and all these other ones, you don't own anything. You are paying for permission to use their stuff. You're paying for permission to use their server time, is what it comes down to. You can read those things. Yep, it's wild. And again, that's no different than any of these other games, but that's a very important distinctual difference from a paper card game where those things don't exist. Yeah, I'm interested in that too, Jin. One of the things that really hurt Hex TCU, and obviously Hex TCU was a much smaller game than Artifact will be, right? Because like Hex was made by the small no-name company. But one of the big issues with Hex was that they couldn't control their market, and it priced a bunch of people out of the game. And hopefully, I'm hoping that whatever Valve ends up doing, they take a heavy-handed approach to maintaining and controlling their market. All right, I need to Haven of the Spirit Dragon back something right now because they have Crypt Incursion in their hand. So let's just do this ASAP. I thought EULZs were there to make sure you're scroll. I love, my favorite end user license agreements are the ones that they require you to scroll to the bottom before you can click accept. Hex was not just Magic. The people that say Hex was just Magic didn't actually play Hex. Hex had a lot of very innovative things that it did that made it very unique for Magic the Gathering. I've played a lot of Hex, probably more than, you know, there's a few other Hexers in chat that came along here, but more than a lot of the people in chat. Saying Hex was just Magic is like saying Counter-Strike Source is just the original Doom because they're both first-person shooters. Like, yeah, they're the same genre, but they're like functionally very different things. Yeah. Hopefully their marketplace isn't going to turn out to be a giant pile of crap. I would love it if their marketplace didn't turn out to be a giant pile of crap. Yeah, Hex is effectively dead at this point. Is there a blue source left to fetch in my deck? I think there is. Wolfwood, thank you for the 3-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. MWLX, thank you for the 5-month resubscription. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. So that's a Nicol Bolas. I'm probably better off playing that than attacking with Tar Pit this turn. Yeah. Yeah, especially on like warranty type stuff. It's like, am I about to get double archive trapped here? All right, there's 7 cards left in my deck. Depends on how hot the top of their deck is here. We might be able to race them. And we're dead. Yeah. Yeah, so I think this one, I'm gonna play one more just to like give it a fair shake, but I think this one's gonna just go in the pile of all the other modern decks that are like 4 and 5 mana threats are just like, they're too much mana for modern. If you want to play cards that cost 4 and 5 mana, they need to be Jace the Mind Sculptor. They need to be Teferi. They need to be Scapeshift. They need to be Primeval Titan. They need to be cards that are effectively ending the game when you cast them. And these cards just don't do that. And we can pair them with a bunch of kind of efficient cards here, but there's going to be too many games where our cards just don't line up well into what the opponent's doing, and our threats aren't powerful enough at the top end to actually close the game out. This hand's very good. Discard spell, removal spell, hopefully hit a couple lands and play some threats. Stomping Ground. My body is ready to get Primeval Titaned. I think there are people who would see the expense alternative and would pay. I don't know. What are you talking about, Toast Recon? $50 subs? Maybe I missed something that someone was talking about in chat. The Bus Driver. Thank you for the 3-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. That's interesting. I guess I'm going to take the Strangle Root, guys, because it's the recursive threat here against my 1-for-1 removal. Oh, about a subscription service card game? Sure. Of course, Driver. So one of the things people talk about, like, are there, when we were talking about distribution, people are like, do other games have subscription services? To my knowledge, there are not any digital card games that have tried a subscription-based model because it's just too profitable to like make people crack packs, basically. They just make piles of money by doing it. Epic Card Game is one that I was kind of sad that their digital kind of like puttered out and flopped, basically. I don't know what they're doing. They just like don't have the resources to get their game done. Because like their gameplay is pretty good, and their model is you just pay $5 and get the entire expansion. You pay some small amount of money and have every card in the expansion, which is a neat structure. But they never actually finished their product, so it didn't come to be. And who knows, maybe part of the reason why they never finished is because that model's not profitable enough to sustain development. I mean, living card games are great, except they all seem to like flop and die. So like, there's probably something to be said about them not making enough money to be successful. I think psychologically, you're way more likely to get someone to spend $50 a month if it's free. Yeah, that's probably true. Keyforge is more pay to compete than Magic the Gathering is. When people keep talking about bringing up Keyforge. People are bringing up Keyforge really don't understand just how predatory Keyforge's distribution model is. Keyforge's distribution model is more predatory than any distribution model I have ever seen. Yeah, you have to buy a bunch of different decks and hope to eventually open a good deck. Man, look at this good, clean deck building. That's just some good living right there. Ah, the old Tireless Tracker post land drop. Yeah, and hope to eventually open a deck that you like playing too. Yeah. Yeah, Keith, I'm gonna be done with this deck. This deck's just too clunky and bad. Yeah, so to wrap on this, 4 and 5 mana threats do not, let's not make fun of my opponents. Just, you know, pointing out their sequencing mistakes is fine, so we can be constructive and specific, but let's try not to make fun. I was probably a little bit too harsh in what I said there, but again, you shouldn't play your land before your Tireless Tracker, obviously. Sorry, to wrap on this. These are efficient modern legal cards. You could even argue Kolaghan's Command is pretty efficient at what it does. These cards are not efficient enough, and you just kind of stumble and die, and it's just how it goes. If you want to play decks like this, you want to register cards like these, you should play Standard. That's just the long and short of it. Modern is a format that's about brutal efficiency and playing good cards, and this deck just doesn't do that.